Alright. Alright, some very long patch notes. Let's go. Blight Challenge League. Challenge Leagues are a great opportunity for a fresh start. We already know that. In the Coriander League, strange fungal growths have been appearing across raycasts, infecting those who come in contact with them and wresting control of their minds. Sister Cassia, a new NPC, trying to stop the spread of infection, but needs your help. Blah blah blah. Can build towers that spit flames, call down lightning strikes, chill enemies to the bone, and more. At your discretion, you'll need the powers of these towers to push back the waves of mind-controlled monsters that lurch towards the fungal core. Okay. Alright, so notes about oils, which we already know. Later on, you may discover blighted maps so deeply infected with blight that all the ordinary monsters have fallen under its sway. These endgame blight encounters will put your tactical tower building skills to the test. With 3.8, there are standard, hardcore, and solo self-found, blah 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 blah. And challenge rewards and normal totem stuff. Brilliant. Major new content and features. Added Dexterity Plague Bearer, which we already saw. That's the one that stores poisons and then acts like a poison RF for a little bit. Dexterity Enter Skill Gem Withering Step gain, phasing and elusive. While applying Wither to nearby enemies when you move within range, performing any skill removes phasing and elusive. Shares a cooldown with other blink skills. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That could be... I could see myself using that. Cobra Lash, which we already saw. That's the chaining one. It looks really fucking cool. Pestilence Strike looks kind of shit. Right, so these are all the... Are there new skills in here that we don't know or that we need to know information about? Jesus. Stormblast Mine has an aura while placed, which causes nearby enemies to take increased damage, stacking up to a maximum of 150% increase to damage taken. It fucking excuse me? It fucking excuse me. Something active support playstyle something. That's disgusting. That is proper disgusting. Right, summon Skitterbot summons 2 constructs that will detonate and trigger your traps and mines, as well as providing bonus trap and mine damage. One has an aura that shocks nearby enemy as well. It doesn't say the percent managed reserved, which I'm assuming. That was the one you looked at in the trailer and said it was too busy. Yeah, but you won't be detonating them. That's a support mine now. You just plant a bunch of them down as support and never detonate them. You just existing for the aura. Yeah, the trailer suggested to me that the reservation of the Skitterbots was 25%. Because that's what it looked like, how much mana he had. But it could have been 35% like Discipline. It's hard to tell. But it definitely wasn't 50. Separate chance to throw it up to a maximum of 6 traps or mines thrown. So this one's cool. Swift Assembly is cool. Right, we want to skip over most of these unless there's one we really need to know about. Is there anything we don't already know? 16 new unique items, 19 divination cards, a new wand, 2 new ring base types available in the Atlas. 2 new rings? Well, one of them is definitely minion movement speed. Like, just straight up calling minion movement speed as an implicit up to 40%. Maybe 30? We'll go with 30, up to 30%. Just calling that right now. Add a new class of oils, yep. It won't be 30, 30 is too high, but it'll be minion movement speed. That's what I want in one of them. Significantly rebalanced and reworked mines, summoners, character archetypes, and poison character archetypes. Improved the Atlas mission, see below. Okay, cool. Minor new content. Added a second set of keybinds accessible by holding control by default. This can be changed in the settings. Sir, that is not a minor content or feature. Sir, we've been wanting this for 6 years. That is not a minor. That is not a minor feature. You should have been hyping the fuck out of that. Do you know how excited people are? Sir, this is my favorite feature of the whole fucking league. Okay, moving on. Updated the art to all the flask base types. No art is reused for different flasks anymore. Existing flasks will retain their old art for now. The first thing I noticed in the trailer, by the way. Added new mods that can appear on flasks, including some that appear specifically on mana flasks that Baylor will never see because I refuse to use mana flasks. Added more audio clues for various events, including but not limited to confirming or cancelling a trade, failing to identify an item due to lack of scrolls, and fully clearing the defeated pools. What? Okay, bud. Okay, bud. Yep, sure. Yep. Added more labyrinth enchantments for new skills as well as on boots. By the way, we've made lab harder. Added 2 new Grandmasters to the pool of Grandmasters. Shield charge now uses your equipped shield, including any cosmetic for it, for its effect, with the exception of Focus Shield, Pure Intellect Base Shield. Okay. You can now use up to 2 helmet attachment cosmetic effects at once. Immediately, like what happens if I put on 2 pairs of eyes? Do I get 1 eye of each color? Please, please, I hope. Improve the voice and sound transitions. No, the visual effect of shatter now scales better based on the size of the shattered enemy. That's cool. Improve the voice and sound transition between creating new characters and logging out to the menu. Alright. Continue to incrementally increase effects of everything. Sure. Atlas missions. The way Atlas missions are handled has been reworked. Once you've unlocked the Atlas, you'll now earn 1 Atlas mission for each master per day. These are not assigned to a specific map and are assigned to a specific map tier color, white, yellow, or red. You must log into your account to receive these missions. These missions are accumulated and tracked on the right side of the Atlas panel. More missions can be earned by completing maps each time you complete a map, typically by killing the boss. I assume that when they say typically by killing the boss, they also mean if you clear, I think it's 70% of it, that will also count, because it does now, so why wouldn't it then? You will have a chance to earn Atlas missions. The chance to earn missions this way has been significantly raised. Tell you what else is significantly raised. It's my penis. You'll encounter random masters in maps less frequently. With this change, move to the map completion mechanic. Yep, cool. To use the cumulative master mission, simply talk to the allocated master in your hideout. Select the Atlas mission from the place the map you wish to use. A map device opens. You can add Zana modifiers from the screen if you wish. I'm gonna have to move all the masters in my hideout. It looks so nice. Hoffy did such a good job on my hideout, and now I can't use it because of functional reasons. That's so annoying. There are no limit to the number of Atlas masters you can accumulate. There's no pressure to run missions. Run them at your own pace. Here's the question. I bet there is a limit. Like, there has to be a limit? Because you can't have things that don't have a limit. And I wonder what the limit is. That's all. I'm sure that the limit is high enough that they don't expect anyone to be able to reach it, and if anyone gets close, they'll just make it a larger limit like they did with Delve. But there is a limit, because you can't just make things limitless. That's just not how it works. You can't. Your Atlas missions are now tracked on the quest tracker as soon as you enter a map. Cool. I don't know if that changed anything. Yeah, I know that the portals are still going to go around my map device, not around the master. But I've got, like, there are 3 levels to my hideout. And, like, Zaina's up the top on her own. And then there's the map device where I am. And then, like, downstairs is, like, Aymar and Nico in their own rooms. And, like, the whole place is really spread out. And it looks fucking amazing. And I can't use it anymore because I need them all to be somewhat local. Which is very disappointing. Legion mechanics added to the core game. As a new possible incursion room, with each tier increasing the potential value of the Legion encounter in the eventual... Yep. As a rare Delve encounter. As a random encounter on the Atlas. In addition to the above ways to encounter the Legion, you will now find Legion unique chests that award League restricted items. In addition to the above ways of encountering Legion monoliths, you can now find Legion uniques in the chests that award League restricted items. Right, okay. Vegan now awards various League related items in the Betrayal safe house. In Transportation safe house, he awards Legion splinters. In Research, he awards incubators. In Intervention, Legion scarabs. In Fortification, a set of chests that can be found in Legion encounters. Hey look, Vegan's useful. Check it out. Vegan's useful, guys. Cool. Right. Unique items that can be found exclusively from Legion encounters can still only be found from Legion encounters and the related reward sources above. Yep, okay, cool. Changes to the Legion mechanics. Item rewards within the domain of timeless within the domain of timeless conflict now diminish over time. Experience does not change. Item reward variants from domain of timeless conflict encounters of differing numbers of emblems have been flattened. You'll now receive approximately the same quantity of items per emblem used in a 2 emblem encounter as you would in a 5 emblem encounter. Okay, good. That's a good change. I like that. Time frozen Legion monsters are now affected by proliferating ignite and similar lingering effects. No longer remove that ignite upon being broken out. Okay, cool. A wider variety of rewards can now be found in some incubators, sure. Summoner rebalance! Woo! We've done sweeping balance passes of everything related to traditional summoner gameplay, and in most cases provided substantial buffs or added new features to help summoners keep up with other playstyles. While many of these changes touch upon specific items or skills, there are a few broad changes. Many sources of additional maximum minions have been moved into the skill gem, making summoners less reliant on specific unique items. Most minion gems now grant additional minions as the gem levels up. All minions have received substantially increased to their base accuracy, and are much more likely to hit monsters. We've also added and improved many minion passive skills on the passive skill tree, which I would love to see. We've also added many new skills to help summoners control and manage their army. Yep, we know that. And many more changes to the unique and rare item essences support summoners, blah, blah, blah. Find them outlined in the various sections below. Okay. Mine rebalance. In this patch, we've reworked mines from the ground up. Pun only slightly intended. I don't get the pun. I feel like I've let everyone down. The goal of this rework was to make them feel less clunky to use, while still keeping them mechanically distinct from traps. Okay. Mines are now thrown rather than placed, like traps. Modifiers that previously affect your mine placement speed now instead affect your mine throwing speed, trap throwing speed. The first mine you detonate will detonate instantly. When detonating multiple mines, they are detonated in an accelerating sequence based on the distance from your initial target destination. Okay, cool. All mine skills, except those supported by Blast Chain Mine, now have an aura component that is active while they are placed but not detonated. These auras can stack up to a limit and are affected by aura modifiers. Ooh. Okay. Fire Nova Mine, Freeze Mine, Remote Mine have all been significantly reworked. Yep, we know all about that. Mana ruining, rebalance. We're taking a broad look at the state of mana in Path of Exile and rebalanced a lot of elements, with the goal of closing the gap between characters with little investment in mana and characters with almost singularly invested in mana. Oh, Mana Guardian, what is happening? Oh, Mana Guardian. Oh, no. We've also removed, from temporary leagues at least, the last vestige of Mana Leech available to spellcasters. We want mana to be the caster equivalent of accuracy. It already was, because they're both irrelevant and handed to you for free. Something of which little investment goes a long way to solving the feel of your character. Okay. We've rebalanced mana flasks game-wide to provide more and greater sources of mana on items, and rebalanced many sources of increased mana on the passive tree. Check various sections below. Okay. This whole thing here could just read as: we ruined Mana Guardians, and we've made all of your hand casting builds EB now. Okay, sources of non-ailment damage over time multiplier of all damage types have been replaced by damage over time multiplier, which honestly, why wasn't it to begin with? Because poison was too shit to be OP just because of that. But anyway, this has resulted in the change to some values and items and passive skill tree has been outlined in the respective sections. Okay. Added a new type of modifier which grants additional levels to all gems of certain types as opposed to only socketed gems. Okay. Yep, we already know that. Now I've up to 15 mines activated at once by default from 5. All instances of mine laying speed are now mine throwing speed. Skill reworks. Freeze Mine is now named Icicle Mine. Ooh, damage numbers. Blue gem with a minimum level of 12 deals 16 to 24, which is not horrible for level 1, up to 514 to 771 at 20. That is pretty high. Base mine detonation time is 0.3 seconds. Has 4 additional projectiles at level 1 up to 6 at level 10. That is not bad. That is not bad. Each mine applies 10% increased critical strike chance to hits against enemies nearby up to a maximum of 500%. Fires an additional projectile for every 2 prior mines in detonated sequence. All existing freeze mine skills are now icicle mine skill gems. Be aware that existing characters which had freeze mine may now have a certain item slot disabled as a result of the change to level or attribute requirement. This can be remedied by removing the socketed icicle mine gem. Okay, cool. Final mine, blah blah blah, is now Pyroclast mine, level 28. Starts at 26 to 39, which is not great. No, I don't want to go looking up everything. This is already long to get to. Damage at level 1, up to 240 to 361 at level 20. Fires 2 additional projectiles at all. Each mine applies 1 to 2 fire damage with hits against enemies near it, up to a maximum of 64 to 69 at gem level 1. By gem level 20, each mine applies 12 to 18 fire damage, up to a maximum of 600 to 901, which will never hit the maximum. Damage numbers here look overwhelmingly bad. This one looks good. Mechanically, if this hits more than once, it'll be good, which it might. Like, judging by like how it looked, that one mine might hit the same mob twice, and if it did that, it would be quite good. But I don't know. Skill balance. All aura skills you cast, Wrath and Hatred, now have a base radius of 40 from 36 to compensate for the changes to aura radius, blah blah blah. Likewise, the radius of Flesh and Stone now is 28 instead of 24. War Banner and Dread Banner are 46 instead of 40. All aura gem qualities that increase aura's radius now increase it by twice that amount. So from 2% to 4% per quality. Aura quality might actually be worth bothering with now, if you're in a party at least. Several damage over time skills such as Righteous Fire, Contagion, and the Death Aura from Deathos can now break barrels and other objects throughout the world. Oh! Hello, ED buffs. I will just gobble down that Contagion area nerf for this. Just like straight in, just it's fine. Like that is 100%. Oh, I'm so on board. Specific skills. Alright, body swap. No longer requires a corpse, but gains significantly benefit if it consumes a corpse. Space radius is now halved. I'm going to assume the other half of that radius comes back if you use a corpse. Now costs 8 mana, up from 7, up to 23 at gem level 20 from 20. Jesus. And it's slower to cast. It has a slightly higher crit. It does significantly less damage. Now has 300% more area if consumed a corpse. Corpse explosion from the corpse now deals 6% up from 4. And has less effectiveness. Okay. Yeah. That could actually be really good. That could actually be really good. People are going to use body slop this league. Bone Offering now has a base duration of 5 seconds from 3, with 1 additional second per corpse consumed, up from half a second, up to a maximum of 4 corpses from 8. Now applies the visual effect above the player while cast. Yep. Chaos Golem now converts 100% to Chaos. Now deals more damage. Yep, cool, whatever. Clarity now grants no change at level 1 up to 33 at level 20 from 17. Okay. Like, they almost double clarity, but it takes up so much flat mana if you use a level 20 clarity. Okay. Contagion no longer grants additional radius at the gem. Previously it gained +4 radius. Now I tested this on standard by grabbing a level 1 contagion and putting it on my ED contagion build. It's fucking fine. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Absolutely no problem there. Now, oh god, is that all? Convocation now has a cooldown of 3 seconds from 4. Now, that's maybe with the minion behavior changes, I won't need to convocate as much. Now recovers a percentage of minion maximum life rather than a flat value, starting at 0.7 at gem level 1 up to 1.65 at gem level 20. Not a lot. Cyclone was the dominant skill in 3.7, used by far more players than any other melee skill. You didn't need that word right there. Could just been any other skill. In this patch, we wanted to reduce some of Cyclone's enormous girth and make it feel less penalizing to use one-handed weapons with Cyclone. Wait, what? Did I read that wrong? And make it feel less penalizing to use a one-handed weapon with Cyclone. You guys know that it was way better to use one-handed weapons, right? Like, way better. Like, two-handed Cyclone was bad. Okay, anyway. Now has a base range of 11 rather than based on your weapon type. No longer gains additional radius based on your melee range. Now gets 8% increased area of effect per melee range. Now deals roughly half the added damage. Now grants +1 radius per stage rather than +1 to melee range, which is good. Now gain 1 stage every half a second while channeling rather than based on your attack time. Now lose 1 stage every 3 seconds while not channeling. This is... That's not half. It's basically half. 28 to 42. Double 42 would be 84. Its old high level was 85. Like, it's basically half the added fizz. Oh, I said half a second. Right, whoops, my bad. Whatever. This is probably going to be fine, and Cyclone's still going to be fine, but this is the most confusing sentence I've ever read. This is the most confusing sentence I have ever read. This is the exact opposite of what was actually the case. Like it couldn't be more wrong. But anyway, moving on. Now, Desecrate now has a corpse limit of 10 from 15. Now has a cast time of 0.6 from 0.8. Now has a base duration of 4 seconds instead of 5 and no longer has a cooldown. Cool. Dominating Blow has a 25% chance to summon a normal Sentinel of Dominance when you hit a unique monster. Nice. Summoned Sentinels can now use Crusade Slam, regardless of ascendancy. Previously, this required a specific thingamadooby. Or, yeah, the Guardian, whatever. Still probably not going to use Dominating Blow again. I might, but maybe. But not, probably not. Probably not. Explosive Trap now deals more damage as the gem levels with no change at level 1 and up to 460 instead of 420. Now gains additional radius as the gem levels up to +6 at gem level 20 from +4. Did Explosive Trap need a buff? Did Explosive Trap need a buff? Okay. Fire Trap now deals 11 to 17, up from 10 to 15 to 966 from 862. Wow. Now deals 32.5 base fire damage per second, up from 29, up to 1832 from 1635. Okay. Okay. Now deals 201 to 302 from wow. From 269 up to 302. Fire Trap. All right. Now gains additional radius at gem levels up to +8 from +6. We got another 2 things. That is super nice. That is super nice. Fire Trap is a thing now. Flame Dash now deals... Flame Dash now deals like almost double its damage. Oh, that's great. That is nominal. The memes are alive, guys. Don't make a Flame Dash totem build though. Mines, maybe? I don't know if it'll work on mines, but maybe. But not totems. Not totems. Flesh Offering now has basically the same changes as the other one. That's fine. Why not totems? Flame Dash totems all share charges. So if you have 4 totems and you have 3 Flame Dash charges, 3 of them will charge at once, and then the other one will stand still, and that 4th one will get to go when you get a tick back. Does not make for very efficient map clear, unfortunately. Flesh and Stone now has 20 gem levels. No longer reduces all damage from non-blind enemies. Instead reduces damage from attacks from non-blinded enemies. You now take 6% less damage from attacks from non-blinded enemies at level 1, down from 10 up to 11% at gem level 20, same as the previous maximum gem level. Meh. Alright. Herald of Purity summon sentinels can now use the flame regardless of ascendancy, but I feel like that was already listed. Ice Shot now has up to 75 to 133 added cold damage. Nice. Nice. Ice Trap. The trap base radius has been increased at all levels, while the main circle gaining +3 radius, medium circles gaining +2, and the small circle gaining +1. Okay. Lightning Arrow now has up to 9 to 179 at gem level 20. Lightning Arrow on point. Let's go. Nice. I still like Ice Shot better than Lightning Arrow just because it looks cooler. But Lightning Arrow will be really good with the Tempest now. Lightning Golem. Increases the damage dealt by the lightning projectile by approximately 40% at all levels. Reduced the damage of the arc skill by approximately 20%. Okay. Raise Specter. Now sets the level of Raise Specter rather than limiting the level of corpses you can raise as specters. Now grants your minions 150 additional accuracy rating at level 1 up to 1109 at level 2. 20, rather. No longer modifies the life, energy shield, or damage of the minion. Now allows you to raise additional specters up to 2 at level 21 and more in higher levels. No longer modifies the life, energy shield, or damage of the minion. Okay. Haven't done a lot of minions in the past. Did they just like dumpster tier specters? Is that what happened? I said I wasn't going to look stuff up, but I need to see the raised specter gem right now. Right, okay. The gem level used to dictate whether it had less life up to 0%, less energy shield up to 0%, or less or more damage. Again, it just doesn't do that anymore. It did lose the 30 all res though, right? Unless they just didn't mention that because it didn't change. That's okay, so that's fine then. Okay, now grants your minions, raise zombie now grants your minions more life as the gem levels up to 38%. Previously none. Now grants increased cooldown recovery speed for your zombies attack slam up to 76% at gem level 20, previously none. We did previously have 100% though from the ascendancy. Now allows you to raise additional zombies as the gem levels up to 7 at 20, previously set to 3 at all. Okay. We saw the gem and it still has all res. Okay, cool. So the slam attacks is still slightly less often than we were used to if you played like a heavy zombie build, but that should be fine. Yeah, slightly, like 17.5% less slams. If I did that math right, it's not really a huge deal. Wait, how did you used to get 100 from the ascendancy? Wait, the jewel doesn't exist anymore either? Uh-oh. That I didn't know. Oh. Unless they changed the base down to like 2.5 or 3 seconds, that might be shit. They might have changed the base. There's still time. Ah, zombies was gonna be my build. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Let's move on. Reckoning, just a buttload less damage. Not important. Not for me, anyway. Righteous Fire now deals up to 1541 at level 20 fire damage per second. Previously dealt no base fire damage per second. Enemies now burn for 20% of your maximum life and energy shield per second as fire at all gem levels from 40. Now gains 1% burning damage per 1 quality instead of 1% spell damage per 1 quality. That should be fine. That should be fine. Like, a good Righteous Fire build only had about 8k life anyway. Like, you could get more, but most people only had 8 to 9. And you could easily lower that to 8 and get more damage nodes now. Like, that's fine. Hey, Tanky. Thank you for the raid. I have notifications off. Yeah, there's gonna be like fire dot nodes and shit. Like, this will be it'll still be great. Repose. Repose has now been fucked off to do half the damage it used to do. Is it actually half? Pretty much. Yeah, it's just a face breaker nerf. It's fine. Slam attack has a cooldown of 4 seconds from 6 seconds and deals 33% more damage at all levels. Scorching Ray now deals less damage than it did before. Probably fine. Scourge Arrow clarified the piercing behavior on the gem. Okay. Searing Bond modifies the spell damage now applied to the skill's damage over time. Smite now gains additional radius as the gem levels up to +6 at level 20 from +4. Cool. Smoke Mine now lasts 8 seconds from 16. Now grants 20% increased movement speed at level 1 up to 29% by gem level 20 from 30 at all. Okay. So the tiniest nerf. Now has a 2.5 second cooldown and can hold up to 3 uses. Cooldown recovery speed of 57%. Now gains increased area. Increases and reduction of mine duration now also apply to this skill's movement speed buff duration. Yep. This is a buff. This is a buff, right? Smoke Mine now just gets increased duration as well. Could be wrong. I've not really got into using it, but I feel like that's a buff. Spectral Shield though. Projectiles created from the shield explosion now carry with them the projectile properties from the original shield's projectile behavior at the point of explosion. This is important for things such as Gloomfang, which care about chain count and the distance the projectile has traveled. Projectiles created from this shield's explosion now carry with them the projectile properties of the original shield's projectile behavior at the point of explosion. I feel like that means if your shield has already chained its maximum amount and explodes, that there will be no chain on the secondary projectiles? Is that right? That's how that sounds to me. Okay. Spirit Offering. Pretty much the same as everything else. For all the offerings, they did remember to buff the energy shield per corpse consumed since it was going to consume half the amount of corpse. So brilliant. Split Arrow now just has 2 more arrows and a little bit more damage effectiveness. Summon Raging Spirits. Summon minions will now target enemies you had targeted at the point where you summoned as a priority. Nice. Poor Split Arrow is still not good enough. No. Summon Skeletons now summons 2 Skeleton Warriors per cast from 1. Now summons more Skeleton Warriors per cast at gem levels up to 3 at gem level 20. Now increases your maximum skeletal limit as the gem goes up to 8 at level 50 from 5. Okay. Vengeance also got shat on for face breakers. Cool. Viper Strike now deals slightly more damage. Very slightly. From 130 to 135. Now uses both weapons if you attack while dual wielding, but has 30% less attack speed if dual wielding. Each weapon now hits separately if dual wielding, dealing 20% less damage. I mean, that's fair. Viper Strike was like super OP and dominating the meta very heavily, so they had to do something about making it worse. What? Okay. Maybe this is preemptive to do with something to do with the poison. Because with each weapon hitting separately, you should be applying 2 stats to poison. Yes. But maybe this has got something to do with the changes up that are coming with poison. Maybe in before, like, they did some testing with the poison changes and Viper Strike was doing like 72 million DPS or something, and they had to do something about it. Maybe. Val skill balance. Modifier to Val soul cost now work consistently with how other modifiers to mana cost work. Namely, they now calculate the total amount to subtract from the cost, rounded down, then apply that reduction to the cost of the Val skill. Previously, it calculated the new cost of a skill and then rounded down, resulting in instances where Val skills had no soul cost. Val Cyclone. Yeah, I don't need to look at that. Fuck you. Val Immortal Call now prevents souls gained while active and cannot have its expiry rate modified. Sure. That's relevant because we can get Val Immortal Calls. Just leave them in standard, let people have fun. I don't care about standard. Support gem reworks. Remote Mine now causes supported skills to deal 35% less damage at gem level 1, up to 25% less at level 20. Sure. Mines now last 5 seconds from 15. Supported skills now have base detonation time of half a second. Now deal 5% more damage for each prior mine in the detonation sequence. Sure. Minefield can throw up to 4 additional remote mines placed at once. Have 65% less mine throwing speed, up to 60% less at gem level 20. If you have 60% less but you throw 4, you're still getting more mines out, right? I thought when they described this earlier, they described it as you would be able to throw more mines at once, but with a lower overall throw speed. But that is not the case reading the numbers. The numbers say still a higher throw speed, still going to use minefield support. Probably. Okay, whatever. Minion and totem elemental resist support. No longer supports totems, now has a mana multiplier of 130. I think it was 110 before. Minions supported skills now have up to 29%. Minions now inflict exposure on hit, but only a 10% exposure. Minions now deal 20% more elemental damage at level 1, up to 29% more at gem level 20. Ooh. Okay. That plus the exposure makes that now okay. Now grants additional maximum elemental resistance to the gem levels up to +2. Okay. Now grants 0.1 additional maximum elemental resist per 1% gem quality. So another 2. So you can get 4% max res for your minions. Right? Have all your minions at 79% res? Yeah, alright, I'm on board. Little mini RF minions. Let's go. Reduced mana support, now called Inspiration Support. In addition to its prior mana regen function, you now get these weird fucking inspiration charges that I just don't really understand. Lose all inspiration charges after spending 122 mana. Up to 800 at level 20. Deal 5% per charge, up to 8% at level 20. So it only ends up being like 40% more damage, and only sometimes, and then it goes away. I don't... Like, it could be interesting, but I feel like it's going to end up on support skills rather than like not linked to your main skill. I feel like I'm going to use something else to get inspiration charges and then just not use that skill. Maybe, I don't know, that's weird. I'm gonna want to play with that at some point, see if it can be usable. Right, Advanced Trap now grants supported skills 50% increased cooldown recovery speed from level 1 up to 107% from 25. Advanced Trap support actually may be useful. Maybe actually useful. Supported skills now deal Ancestral Call with no penalty. Used to be 16% less. It was already useful for Lightning Spire Trap, not as useful as other supports. Now it might actually be worth it in a falling. Charge Trap support. Gained a little bit of crit multi. And a little bit of trap throwing speed. Okay. Fortify Support now deals more damage with all ailments caused by melee hits. Previously it was just bleeding and poison. So... Ignite? Fortify will buff my ignites? Melee ignite build incoming? Okay, sure. Yes, Infernal Blow can cause ignites. Okay. Cluster Trap. Blah, 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 blah. Now requires a bit more intelligence. That's it. Mana Leech now only causes supported attacks to leech mana. Now I just want to point out that they decided that giving up a support gem on my spell was too strong to get Mana Leech. That's a bit excessive. That's a bit excessive. Right, minion life support now has a mana multiplier of 130 instead of 140. Minion speed support. Supported skills now have up to 34% cast speed and 34% attack speed from 19. And its mana multiplier went down. Nice. Nice. I actually really like that. That probably is enough to make minion speed support worth it for a lot of things. Multi-strike support is essentially unchanged. It doesn't really matter because it's the attack speed we really needed out of that to make it feel good, and they didn't give it back. So don't worry about that. It's got less mana multiplier, but it's still going to feel bad. Poison support now deals 20% more damage with poisons at level 1 from no bonus, up to 39% at level 20 from 28. Okay, cool. Pulverize now has 25% increased area of effect, rather than the multiplicative more area of effect at gem level 1, up to 34% at gem level 20. Supported skills deal 40% more area damage at level 1, up from 30 up to 59 at level 20 from 45. Yeah, if it's kept the less attack speed part, it's probably not that useful overall. I feel like this is the one step too far when they were addressing Cyclone and its area. The other changes all had merit, and hitting Pulverize at the same time was too far and damaged too many other skills. I feel like other melee skills that were usable and maybe just needed slight buffs have taken too heavy of a hit from Pulverize support, which didn't need to change now that they've made the other changes to Cyclone. I feel like Pulverize support has died for Cyclone's sins, and that's a feels bad moment. But okay, moving on. Trap support. Trap throwing speed now scales up to 19% instead of 10. 34%. Supported skills now deal increased trap damage up to 38%. It's only increased, so no one cares. Unbound ailment support now increases duration of ailments by 54. So 10% more. And 4% more increased effect of non-damaging ailments. And 4% more of damaging ailments. Vicious support now deals 40% more chaos damage over time instead of 30, up to 59 at level 20 from 49. Ooh, hello. Vicious projectiles, how are you doing? Up to 59% more physical damage over time, and more physical projectile attack damage also went up to 59. Oh, hello. Hello, baby. How you doing? Okay, passive tree balance. We're just not reading that. That means nothing. We will look at the skill tree a little bit later. We'll just open that. That's the tree data. We'll do that a little bit later. Thank you. Ascendancy balance, we already know all of pretty much, unless anything changed. We don't know the specifics, do we? About some of them? No. Okay, so we knew only a few of them actually. Ascendant is new. Necromancer had the 25% change. Auras from your skill now grant 2% increased attack and cast speed for your allies from 3. You consumed a corpse recently. You and your minions gain 30%. You no longer get 20% increased skill effect duration. That's enough. That's enough. That's rough. Now you cause your damage to penetrate 8% from 6. You can now regenerate 1% life up to 10%. So they nerfed the Saboteur Ascendant as well. They nerfed Assassin Saboteur. I mean, they added the elusive on kill 10% chance, but they nerfed the crit on it. Guardian now grants you and nearby allies onslaught, while there are at least 5 nearby allies. No longer grants 10% increased effect of your curse and aura skills. Whoa! Whoa! They just nerfs all around. By the way, we thought Ascendant was slightly too powerful, so we nerfed everything on it. Ascendant was garbage. People have been complaining lately that Ascendant is garbage because all the other classes got reworks, and none of those reworks made it into Ascendant, so Ascendant was garbage. And when they looked at Ascendant, they nerfed it. What? Okay. It's fine, it's fine. Moving on. Warbringer now grants 20% attack speed if you've war acquired recently, 15% chance to deal double damage. Whatever. We're still not going to take that. Yeah. Alright, Chieftain no longer grants. Yeah, we knew that one. Guardian has been reworked. It now grants plus 20 to all elemental resistance while there are at least 5 nearby allies. You and nearby allies have Onslaught. While there is at least 1 nearby ally, you and nearby allies deal 10% more damage. Okay. Unwavering Crusade has been reworked. Now grants nearby allies 30% increased damage, 15% increased attacks and cast speed and movement speed, 30% increased area of effect, and causes nearby allies to intimidate and unnerve enemies for 4 seconds on hit. What the fuck is unnerve? Enemies which are unnerved take 10% increased spell damage. Never mind. Spell Intimidate. Real quick. So they didn't change either of them. Okay. No problem. Divine Ire no longer grants... Oh, Divine Guardians no longer grants 150 mana maximum mana, now grants 30% increased maximum mana and causes increases in reduction to maximum mana to also to apply to damage at 30% of their value. Nice 10% spell damage buff. Cheers. That'll make all the difference. I'll take that now. Sanctity of Thought now grants 50% less mana cost of skills rather than reduced. No longer grants 50% reduced mana cost of skill while on full energy shield. Now grants 20% of maximum mana as extra energy shield from 30% and 1% increased area of effect per 50 unreserved mana up to a total of 100%. Still not taking the path. Thanks though. Small Raider, small passives, we already know all the Raider buffs, we already know all the Saboteur unless anything changed between now and then. No, that looks the same. Trickster got nerfed, which makes me sad, but is probably appropriate to be honest. It's still very powerful, and this is probably actually balanced now rather than being super OP. But once they didn't gut it like they gutted my cultist, I'm pretty happy with that actually. People are going to cry about it getting nerfed again, but I mean it was still very strong and it's still worth taking at those values, so probably fine I guess. Assassin, Toxic Delivery, no longer causes you to recover. Now grants you 0.4 critical strike chance per poison affecting, so 2%. Now causes poison to afflict critical strikes to deal 50% more damage. Now causes you to recover maximum life per poison on an enemy you kill. Right, we saw all these, nothing changed, right? Yep. Slayer got its base crit moved to 7.5 and Bane of Legends nerfed to 10%. Right? Right? Okay, now you gain 10% movement speed instead of 20. Okay, These probably fine still. And to be honest, I'm not sure Slayer was really that strong when it came to everything that wasn't Cyclone. But this isn't huge nerfs either, so it will be fine. The Necromancer stuff we already know. Elementalist. Did anything happen to help you? Now causes your summoned golems to be immune to elemental damage regardless of the golem type. Okay, so we can actually make Golemancers with the new Fizz Golem. Elementalist no longer grants ailment prevention based on the time you have summoned. It now grants a 35% chance to avoid ailments per summoned golem. And now also grants 25% increased effect of buffs granted by your golem per summoned golem. Stacks with the Legion of Primordial identical stat. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Beacon of Ruin now also grants 30% increased effect of non-damaging ailments on enemies. Okay, so they didn't help Elementalist at all, except as a golem class, but that's fine. Oh, oh, oh. Occultist, save me! Now grants 20% chaos damage over time instead of Nakdot. Small passives leading got the same treatment. Vile Banish now causes you to regenerate 40 energy shield per second. Fuck you. Moving on. I want my Occultist back. Alright. Item balance. Several daggers are now classified as rune daggers, cannot roll caster related modifiers, while rune daggers retain their old generation behavior. Okay. Several staves are now classified as war staves, can no longer roll caster related stuff. Scepters are now identified as a scepter class, separate to one-hand maces. Fucking thank God, because they had different mod rolls and everything. Like, they had different mod rolls and everything. It was crazy. Eldrin Shaper Gloves can no longer roll. Yep, we know that. Weapon modifiers that add maximum mana have had their values raised across the board. Staves in particular can now be found with modifiers that add larger quantities of maximum mana. Existing weapons may be updated to the new values, in some cases using a divine orb, but staves can't. Lol. Wands, scepters, staves, rune daggers, and pure intelligent shields can now roll modifiers which affect the level of all skill gem types, and pure int shields can now roll modifiers which affect the level of all skill gems of a certain type, not just those socketed within the item. They can no longer roll the modifiers which solely affect the gem sockets. Excuse me? Shields as well? Hello. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Cool. Alright, wands, scepters, and staves and jewels can now roll fire damage over time multiplier. Lovely. We knew about shields from a GGG comment? Well, I didn't. Right, Nakdot is just C dot now. Cool. Daggers and rune daggers can roll chaos. Yep, cool. Jewels can now roll physical damage over time modifiers. Belts can now roll a mana prefix. Pure rings now have 20 to 30 mana on their implicits, from 20 to 25. That'll save me. Cheers. Items with Multex prefix that grant a +1 level of trap skills now also apply to mind skills. This mod can no longer appear on one-handed weapons, because it would be far too OP to give +1 to all traps or all mines. Only to spells on everything, but not to mines. Okay. Mana flasks at all levels have been rebalanced. In general, they will recover more mana over less time than previously, which is the opposite to what I want, and have more uses. They can roll several more useful modifiers. So here's the problem with that, is what you want out of a mana flask is for it to give you a little bit of mana over a long period of time so that you can use it once and then have it maintain its use. You don't want it to be over quicker. You're not trying to replenish your full mana pool. You're trying to sustain mana. So this is... like, I'm not saying that it will be bad. I'm just saying that they've got the entire idea of what we want to use a mana potion for wrong. Like, just that sentence is not right. That's not what we want. It is a somewhat of a speed leveling nerf, but they'll just get around it. It'll be fine. Right, +1 to all of the recipes. I've had damage. Instead, we knew this. Oh, this recipe now also works for rune daggers, and it depends on the rarity of the ring used. Labyrinth Helm enchant for Desecration, which granted increased cooldown recovery, now instead grants duration at the same value. This effect existing enchants. Sure. Labyrinth Boot enchant, which previously granted a life and mana leech if you've killed recently, now instead just grants life leech. The part we didn't want. Okay. Labyrinth Boot enchants previously granted life and mana regeneration if you've been hit recently, now instead just grant life regeneration. What? But you trying to get rid of leech, or are you trying to get rid of regen? Fuck my life. Okay, whatever. I just every patch is just making it like more and more like I could just make EB casters though. You know how much fucking energy shield leech there is on my tree for my spellcaster? It's fucking everywhere. Can't swing your dick around in the top half of the tree without hitting mana, without hitting energy shield leech. Like, it's fucking everywhere. Alright. Labyrinth enchant for Tornado Shot, which added additional secondary projectiles, is now exclusive to Eternal Lab and only adds 1. That's fine. What is EB? Eldritch Battery. In short, all my spellcasters are probably going to end up taking Eldritch Battery, which spends energy shield before mana for the spell costs instead, and then just pick up like, there's an energy shield leech. There's some energy shield leech over here, and there's just really easy to pick up. It's everywhere. Right. Added a new set of Labyrinth Boot enchants which grant increased mana regeneration rate if you have cast a spell recently. Resonators can now stack. They have a stack size of 10 in a normal stash tab and in the inventory. And primitive resonators can stack to 5,000 in the currency tab. Oh. The glass shank base types can no longer roll caster modifiers, whatever. Number of accuracy modifiers for minions have been added to the mod pool of Abyss Jewels and Ordinary Jewels. Sure. The added lightning damage modifier with the prefix name Heat Stopping has been renamed Vaporizing because we added a bunch of other mods in 3.6 which were also called Heat Stopping. And Heat Stopping fit better for the new ones. The mod names are hard. Heart stopping? Is it heart stopping? My bad. I said heat. Okay, look, I can't read. Moving on. It's not important. It's fine. These are the extra little juicy bits you get when I read the patch notes. Just straight up read stuff wrong. It's fine. Okay. Added a new set of modifiers. Wait, what? Added a new set of modifiers for intellect-based armors, which grant added energy shield and mana. Okay. Using bound fossils to craft boots will no longer grant +1 to maximum number of specters and will now instead grant +1 level of raised specter gems. This also affects existing pairs of boots of this modifier. Ooh. Okay. This is Zeal, now grants trap and mine throwing speed on a belt, whatever. Okay, rather have the +1. I mean, roll the +1s are rolled into the gem level now. That's how you get extra specters, by getting more gem levels. The Avenger Flask Prefect now grants 5 charges when you take a critical strike. Yep, cool, because I want to do that. Of Craving and Gluttony modifiers no longer appear on flasks. I don't even know what those are. The increased mana. I think they're leech. Oh, they're the mana leech ones. That's fantastic. The increased mana modifiers available on jewels can now roll between 8 and 10% increased mana, up from 6 to 8. Minion damage modifiers of all tier Essence of Fears have been significantly increased. System items can be updated using a Divine Orb. Cool. No longer provide, instead grant resistance penetration. Okay, so it's just going to be resistance pen instead. Cool. Yep. 0.5, yep. Alright, uniques items. What's important here? Following items now affect all spells of certain types. So we've got, I can't even say that one. Searing Touch, the Agnorod Staves, Cane the Unraveling, Zikril's Crank, and the Consuming Dark. Which could be really cool if they reverted its values back to the old values, but whatever. Brutal Restraint can no longer modify passives with 8% increased effective flask on you, instead granting 8% increased effect of non-unique flasks on you. This affects all versions of the item. Way to ruin everyone's fun, I guess? Yeah. Fair, but like I'm okay with it. Watcher's Eyes can no longer gain percentage to cold and chaos damage over time multipliers while affected by malevolence. Instead now has a +2 damage over time multiplier while affected by malevolence. Okay, whatever. Oh, the mana cost reduction while affected by clarity now specifically applies to non-channeling skills. The mana leech while affected by wrath is now energy shield leech while affected by wrath. These two changes do not affect existing items and cannot be attained by a divine orb. They're fucking they're right up. They're right up mana leech as an arsehole right now. Like they're just hard fucking mana leech, just fucking. Anyway. Poet's Pen now triggers socketed spells at the end of attack rather at the start and has a cooldown of 0.15 seconds from 0.12. I'm actually excited about that. Poet's Pen occultists might be a thing. I'm excited. That's a good one there. Doomsower no longer causes socketed red gems to gain 10% of physical as extra fire. Instead causes attack skills to gain 5% of physical as extra fire per socketed red gem. Also causes you to have Val Pact while all socketed gems are red. Okay. Okay. The Star of Rayclast no longer grants Illusionary Warp and instead grants level 10 Frostblink. Now also grants 50% increased duration for Frostblink. Existing versions of this item are unaffected and cannot obtain these changes. What the fuck is the Star of Rayclast? Okay, good story. Yep. Cool. Yep. Cool. Alright, whatever. Still garbage. Cool. Ascaller no longer grants additional fire damage to attacks, instead grants 15 to 25 fire damage over time multiplier. Now grants 20 to 30 burning damage, down from 40 to 50. Cool. Blasphemous Grasp no longer grants ailment damage per elder item equipped, instead just grants ailment damage over time per elder item equipped. Cool. Makes it actually probably useful, maybe. Cane of the Unraveling. Right, so this is just more stuff, losing Nakdot and gaining everything. Yep. Alright, so Searing Touch. Not important. Fuma of the Saints no longer causes your minions to regenerate life, nor does it grant increased minion attack and cast speed per skeleton you own, increased minion duration per zombie, or increased minion damage per raised Specter. It now causes minions to deal 60 to 80% increased damage and grants 1% chance to block attack damage per summoned skeleton, 2% increased attack and cast speed per summoned raging spirit, and 0.6% of life regenerated per second per raised zombie, and 30% increased mana regeneration rate per raised Specter. Apparently, this Mortis no longer grants +1 to maximum number of rays, Specter, or grant your minions Unholy Might when they kill an enemy. Now causes minions to gain 15 to 20% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage. Alright. Cool. Coated Shrapnel no longer grants physical damage to mine and traps, now has a small radius and causes passives in the area that also grant 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 added fizz. That's cool. Fortified Legion can no longer drop. It has been replaced by a new unique which uses the same art. Okay. Mortis Golem, yeah. Yep. Apparition can no longer drop. Has been replaced by a new unique which has the same art. Volatile Dead can no longer drop or be obtained from quest, but it hasn't been replaced? It's just gone now? That's a problem. Violent dead. Sorry. I always read that one wrong. It's not, though. It's not, though. Yeah, it's the Zombie Smash Jewel, which it has 100% increased cooldown recovery on, with limit 2. So that's 200% cooldown recovery. Then we have the current Necromancer, which of course you're running if you're running this, which the skeleton node, nope, the zombie node, where is it? Gives 100% cooldown recovery, adding up to 300% cooldown recovery. The new gem has 76%. Meaning we lost 224% cooldown recovery overall. Yeah, so at the time when I was like, that's okay, I was only expecting to lose the Ascendancy, not also the Jewel. That's basically just rip zombies. Like, just don't make zombies. Unless it's all over the passive tree, or there's another jewel we don't know about yet that's going to help out, or they've lowered the base and not told us. Like, unless there's something else going on, zombies are DOA this league. They're just no good. If there's something else going on, yeah, like if it's all over the passive tree or something, then we can make up for it, but that's otherwise... Seed Breath? I don't know how to say that at all. No longer grants physical attack leeches mana, now causes minions to deal some additional cold damage. I'm so sorry, Raz. Oh, I'm so sorry. Healthy Mind is now limited to 1. Oh, that hurts. Oh, Raz, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's fine. I think limited to 2 would have been more appropriate, but they've put a bunch more mana on the tree. I don't know, we might not even need to convert health nodes anymore. Who knows? Like, Mana Guardian might still be fine, I don't know. Bones of Allure just giving +1 to level of raised zombie and specters. Jaws of Agony now grants level 25 bear trap. Queen's Decree now causes minions to have 30 to 40% maximum life and deal 30-40% increased damage. Jewel being removed. That's a lot of cooldown recovery to make up, Crash. That's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not saying it won't happen, I'm just saying it's a concern. That's all. Queen's Hunger no longer causes offering skill step 25% resist effect on you. Cool. Midnight Bargain now causes minions to have up to 30% move speed. And deal 70% increased damage. Cool. Alakari's Fang. The spiders summoned from this item now take up less space and have phasing, and therefore will not block players or monsters as often or as easily. I feel like this is a buff. A really good one. Combat Focus now also applies to Wild Strike! Oh! Hello, beautiful! Second build of the league, Wild Strike. Done. Call it done. I will have a fucking Arc Berserker at a bajillion miles an hour. Just fucking arc chains everywhere. That is happening. That is happening. Also, the cold one is really cool. So I'm on board with that one as well. Yeah, okay, cool. That's awesome. Beric's Grip no longer grants 1% of damage leached as mana against frozen enemies. Instead grants Energy Shield leech against frozen enemies. Numerical changes to it. Yes, I still think it's a buff. This isn't, however. Tempered Flesh and Transcendent Flesh now grant 7% critical strike multiplier per 10 unallocated strength in the radius from 5%. Looks like a buff, but it's not, because they changed the big nodes away. So now it's just, it might, maybe, still be usable. Same with the Tempered Mind and Transcendent Mind. Dead Reckoning now turns 15 skeletal warriors into mages, up from 5, now limit 1. Existing versions can be updated with a Divine Orb. From Dust now allows you to summon 4 additional skeletons at a time from 2. That's a lot of skeletons to be summoning at once. Cool. Blood Bond, the Blood Offering skill now has a base duration of 5 seconds and gains additional second per cast consumed. Yep. Also grants 10% more life regeneration to minions per corpse consumed. Ooh. Curtain Call now increases mine detonation speed rather than mine arming speed. Now reduces mine throwing speed rather than mine laying speed. Now requires you to have at least 800 intellect or dexterity to throw up to 1 additional mine. But it lets you throw the additional mine. That's a lot of int, though. That's a lot of int. Like, what are we, Hour builds? Like, Whispering Ice Traps maybe is like the, like, Whispering Ice Mines is the only thing I can think of. Tremor Rod no longer causes you to deal 35% less mine damage, no longer grants increased mine laying speed, now grants +2 to level of the socketed spell gems. Okay. Yeah, Tremor Rod looks on point. I could use that now. I could see that. I probably personally still wouldn't, but maybe. Thoughts on 6 skeletons at a time from the dust. Probably good if you're using popcorn skeletons. Probably not necessary if you're using actual skeletons to do damage. Crafting changes. Added a fire damage over time multiplier, which is unlocked when the cold damage over time multiplier is. Veiled flasks now only need to be unveiled once to be crafted. Fantastic. The Mortal Syndicate members' specific recipes now require half as many unveils to unlock. Yeah. Crafted trap and mine throwing speed modifiers now grant higher values and have separate versions for the two-handed weapons with even higher values still. That's nice. The mana cost reduction of caster modifiers, aka Elrions, have been split into 2 separate modifiers, one for channeling skill mana cost and one for non-channeling skill mana cost. Each has 3 ranks. What are the new values? What are the new values? Each has 3 ranks. Yep, sure. You can no longer craft a mana cost reducing modifier onto an incursion mana cost reducing ring. Oh shit! The hybrid life and mana crafted modifiers have been split into flat life and mana regeneration and flat mana and life regeneration modifiers. Flat life and mana regeneration, or flat mana and life regeneration. Okay. But why? Re-added the flat energy shield craft modifiers to rings and amulets that mysteriously vanished. Okay. Labyrinth traps now deal 90% less bleeding damage to minions. Fantastic. Monster changes. We know their accuracy was taken down. This is cool. Normal monsters that spawn as part of a rare monsters pack are now classified as minions of that monster and gain one of the rare monster's non-nemesis, non-aura modifiers. These also have special visual effects to distinguish them, will deal more damage, have more life, and grant more experience when slain. That's cool. Piety's fire form now has a greater attack range, made small improvements to Piety's AI during the Linaris Temple encounter. Sorry, Rise. Bad news. Monsters which use Molten Strike now create the projectiles whether they hit a target with their main attack or not. Okay. Incursion changes. Rebalance the life regeneration temple-wide modifier with respects to monsters of magic and rare rarity. Okay. As mentioned above, you can now encounter the Legion-themed room. Reduces the life of Vaal Architects and enhance Vaal Fallens by 25%. Okay. So they didn't replace a room with the Legion one. They just added an extra one, like it wasn't already hard enough. Like it wasn't already hard enough to get the room you wanted. They just added an extra one without doing anything else. But on the upside, I don't have to run temples anymore. Betrayal changes. The state of your betrayal board is now shared across all characters on the same account and in the same league. Upon completing the Mastermind encounter, you'll now have access to a reward room for every single Immortal Syndicate member currently with a job on your board, including prisoners. That is essentially up to 14 rooms worth of rewards plus the Mastermind itself. Actually might still not be worth doing. Not sure. It will depend entirely on how you have your board set up and whether you're still hunting specific things. I think in most cases, for most people, it will now be worth doing the Syndicate, but for specific farming people who really, really know what they're doing, it might still not be worth doing. But I think for most people, it will be now. Oh, added a stash to the Mastermind Safe House reward area because, well, you're gonna need it. Fixed it. Mastermind intelligence no longer decays. Okay. Upon defeating the Mastermind, the betrayal board state is reset to a similar number of members and relationships as the starting state. However, Safe House intelligence is no longer reset upon defeating the Mastermind. Whoa! Whoa, that changes things. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we get some relationship statuses to begin with again, and we don't reset our things. Okay, now I'm thinking I might do Masterminds. Safe houses now have 100% increased experience from monsters, and the Mastermind safe house now has 200% increased experience from monsters. Okay, they're really fucking pushing this, and I am into it. I am into it. You now only have an option to release Syndicate. You now always have an option, rather, to release Syndicate member. Okay, okay. You'll now encounter far fewer empty encounters based on your betrayal board state. You had empty encounters before? I don't know. Do the fucking fight already. GGG probably. Yeah, that's good. Azurite mine and sulfite changes. Your voltaxic sulfite is now shared across all characters in the same account in the same league. There's still a hard upper limit of 65k sulfite. Characters that are merged to standard at the end of the league will bring their sulfite with them up to whatever your highest maximum sulfite limit is. The tunnel Nico digs for you is based on your character level, is now also shared account-wide across all characters, meaning your highest level character will determine the depth of Nico's shaft. The tunnel will only ever be, at most, be 6 levels behind your highest level character until you reach level 68. Previously, it was 15 levels behind at the time you reach level 68. So it straight up goes to level 62 instead of 55 from the beginning, right? Is that... Did I do that right in my head? No, 60... Yeah, 62. He digs to 62. Okay, yep, I'm on board, that's cool. The rate of level growth for monsters in the Azurite mine is now faster, requiring significantly fewer depths to hit the maximum monster level within the mine. This is because most players progress through the Atlas faster than the mine, and the two difficulty levels would quickly become out of sync. You don't have to fucking tell me, mate. I was in like tier 16 maps doing tier 5 fucking delves. Like, no shit. As a result of the change to depth to level ratio, the cost of delves in the interim levels has been increased, but tapers back to the original cost as you get deeper, okay? Dynamite is now instant, i.e. can be thrown while moving. As mentioned above, you can now find Legion encounters rewards in the Azurite mine. Cool. And it can really increase the base quality of life in this game. Yeah, it's actually been... I'm pretty happy with a lot of that. Right. Prophecies which can create tempests in areas no longer trigger in the Shaper's realm or during the most difficult versions of the Elder encounter. Didn't know that was happening, but it's funny. The Atlas of Worlds have been shuffled, although we don't care because you homogenized the entire Atlas. If you're lucky, Zaina will now offer 5 new unique maps as part of her mission. Each map contains a boss encounter originally from the Synthesis League, right? Each will drop a unique item originally in that league. Note you cannot obtain fractured items, nor will you have access to the synthesizer. If you're lucky. So yeah, I might see it once. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, if it stayed on par with Untainted Paradise, then I will see it twice a league at my playtime, which means an average player will see it once every 3 or 4 leagues. So hopefully they bump that up a little bit, because that's not enough. Ooh. Ooh. You will now appear in your hideout rather than town if you die to the Elder or one of its guardians. Nice. I know that's what they said, but they also said there's a week to change it. So if it stayed that way, it's not high enough, but otherwise, hopefully it's changed. The Beast of the Pits, Barrow's map boss, now moves more quickly during its charge attack, but can use the attack less frequently. Its base attack speed has been reduced and its damage increased. Okay. Piety boss encounters in which he transferred into a fire form has also benefited from the increased attack range and AI tweaks. Cool. Breach Lords now have more appropriate life values for their higher level variants, such as pure breach stones. Chalupa in particular had significantly higher life in special versions of the breach domains, such as the pure versions. I didn't really feel like she was that hard. For how rewarding it was, I thought that was okay. Breach domains now have a higher mob density, and the monsters obtained within have more base life. The map modifiers which grant more life to these monsters have been removed. The rate at which monsters revealed has been sped up. And you'll have more time at the start of the encounter, okay? They made it harder. In particular, has significantly higher life in special versions. A little variance. Ah, they made them harder. Okay, I read it wrong. That makes sense. That makes sense. I was like, Chalupa felt pretty easy. Like, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Praise the Lord. The bosses in Lair and Dark Forest maps will now spend more time in their human form between transitions into their wolf form. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Like, unless you insta-rounded that boss, it was just a pain in the ass. You just spent a bunch of time running around and waiting. That's fantastic. Defeated Syndicate members, shrines, and hidden monsters such as Devourers and other things will no longer lure out Shaper Phantoms. Cool. Right, we know the Xenomorphs contains 2 breaches in the breach one, which after the breach buff might actually be worth using. Is the one I'm hoping is good and fun because... yeah. This I'm hyped for. The invite to party / kick from party button is in the player context menu, has been moved to the top and separated from the other button. Woohoo! Added a slot for Harbinger Orbs, Ancient Orbs, Orbs of Binding, Engineering Orbs to the Currency Stash tab. These slots are invisible until you add those currencies. Okay. Increases the stack size of Piranda's coins in the Currency Stash tab to 50,000. So now you're only going to need 7 to 10 Piranda slots instead of 5 stash tabs. Fantastic. Added a slot for Legion Splinters, Emblems, and Scarabs in the Fragment tab. Condensed the display of values greater than 9,999 on the buff icons. Okay. Pressing the hide pop-up buttons in the help panel now also disables the flashing help panel icon and marks all pages as read. This is the true MVP. Multiple different timers can now be displayed at once, meaning you can now check how much time is remaining to complete your incursion in a timed Xena map. Cool. Cool. The Atlas search has been improved. You can now enter a value to find all maps of that tier, highlight all uniques with unique, and even search for Pantheon souls. I feel like you could do all that already. Okay, I feel like I could already do all of those things. I'm sure I've done all of those things. A notification now displays how much favor you've earned upon completing a master mission. That's cool if you care about that sort of thing. You can now scroll between stash tabs by holding control. Oh, okay. Cool. So that functionality we've been using in our macro forever is now part of the base game. Good. Improve the information displayed when you attempt to import a hideout but didn't have all of the necessary decorations. Cool. Added a warning when you attempt to sell an item which has an incubator on it. Cool. Right, added a bunch of quest rewards for everyone. Impale to Marauder is cool. We're not going to read through quest rewards though. Or PvP changes. Unless there's something hilarious in it. Yeah, being able to use less than and greater than would be fantastic. bug fixes? Anything important in the bug? Oh my god, how many bug fixes are there? Anything important here? Lol, fixed a bug where immortal syndicates could claim to have the job of none when you are selecting between actions. Yeah. Fixed a bug where some unique strongboxes could override the sextant modifier, which caused strongbox monsters to drop significantly more item. Cool. Fixed a bug where elemental hit attacks which did not hit a target would still produce an explosion. Didn't know that was happening. Fixed a bug where Duresa's combo attack was only dealing damage with the first swing. Didn't know that was happening. Fixed a bug where shield craps were only hitting blah 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 blah. Fixed a bug where animation cancelling could cause some skills to appear to fire in the wrong direction. Okay, whatever. Fixed a bug where auras which affected nearby enemies would not update in time for some skills which teleported you, such as Flicker Strike, to affect them. Fucking re. Where queued actions would misbehave if you had milled only during the first action. Fixed a bug. Fixed a bug where fixed a bug where Celestial Winter Orb cosmetic effect didn't produce wind physics. Technically, there's no air in space. So was this really a bug? Yes. Yes, it was. That's good. I like that. Yeah. Fixed a bug where you could use a hotkey to close the delve map. But you couldn't use a hotkey to close the delve map if you weren't the owner. Right, okay. Fixed a bug where the monolith aura effect would interact with wind physics. That's what made the monolith aura effect just go absolutely mental. Like, that was what was doing that. Fixed a bug where ranged attack totem support could support some skills it shouldn't be able to because they created minions that used skills that it could support. Excuse me? What was happening? Was somebody putting rat totems on minions that had attacks, then summoning those minions and having those minions, instead of attack, summon rat totems? Is that what was happening? Because that's what it sounds like was happening. And if it is, that's fantastic. Wait, totems summoning mines? Whoa. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't need totems summoning mines. That's not a good idea. Yep, okay, that's fair. Oh, fixed a bug where the chieftain life recovery rate from passive will trigger from non-enemy hits when the passive specifically called out the enemies. I was actively using that this league. Like I was actively using that this league. That was 100% on it. What was the other funny one? Quick, what was the other funny one? I'm blind. Where's the funny one? Where is it? Fixed a bug where we forgot to remove the memory nexus icon from the world panel legend. Or maybe we were attacked by the Elder. Okay. Alright. Well, that is a long set of patch notes that's actually got me pretty excited. Also, like, fuck you guys with the like, fuck you guys with the Mana Guardians and also Cyclone. That was cool. I'm excited for that. Can we play Coriander League now, please?